Welcome to the Two Jerks After Work podcast with RJ and Jeremy.
So yeah, man. Good to be back, sir. Let's see. Professional setting. It's a professional setting, I guess, technically. This first
But I always sound like such a fucking dork, right?
yeah, because it takes a minute to like get into it. Just talking. Talking about before the phone. Yeah, that's my teacher. Just start talking to them. I guess that's what most people do. But I like this. It's something. Like I said, we were talking about the GameStop nerds, and I was like talking to Jeff, and I was like, dude, I think I'm respecting it now. Like I'm starting to respect this. It takes dedication to come out here. Okay, at 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, how long is it? Like, there's a line there when I got here. It's 9:40 or whatever time it is.
You're getting a suntan today.
They don't open till 11. Damn. That's what I mean. Like, and the first man in line, he's all like sunglassed up, sitting in like a folding chair, like he gives no f's about any of that. He's just like, so what? I'm first in line.
Dang. He trying to get that Umbreon VMAX.
Yeah, see, that's stuff I have no idea
I
about.
don't know either,
And
dude.
there's limits on the shelf, like in Walmart, where you can only get one pack at a time, or however many it is. Maybe it's like 3 packs. Because I guess some like one person would just come in and wipe out the shelf.
Here's the thing. That's my fucking motto. If you've, I feel like watching a video of somebody rip a pack is a better dopamine hit than actually ripping open a pack. I'm sure if I ripped open a pack and I got a Charizard, I'd be like, what? But yeah, man, there's this thing where you can watch people do something and get enjoyment from it, which is strange. And that's what's happening with Pokemon right now.
I think you're right, sir. It's part of it. Because some of these people are in it for the game. They're just like, I'm collecting every one. You got to catch them all.
Yeah,
Like, they're just
There are
super
those people.
Pokemon, just like their house is Pokemon. You know, think about it. And they got every card, you know, because there's got to be some guy our age right now who started in 1996. When they first got it, he's like, whoa, what happened there? Did you see the lights flicker, dude?
and then a ghost. You hear that? What the fuck was that? A pipe?
I don't know, man. Tiny EMP's getting you.
That's weird. It's weird. Good for them.
Well, like I said, I'm starting to respect them now. Look at them out. There's like 12 people in that line. They don't open for another hour and a half. Think that line isn't going to be longer by the time like 10:50, some late straggling Pokemon lover comes, you know, trampling through with his like, man, what's this? There's like 50 people in the line now. Like, you should have got here at 8:30.
That's crazy. They probably go somewhere else on Thursday. Somewhere else on Wednesdays and Tuesdays.
You think though? Like, or you think that's like universally, like all stores to get their Pokemon on Friday? Because like, you know how old movies, DVDs used to just come out on Tuesday. Like maybe they only release them. You know what I mean?
I know Toys used to come out, like Toys R Us used to get its truck on Friday or some shit like that. Like collectors, if you're really into collecting, you will get the info that you need to find out when that truck is coming so you can be first. That's what I was just thinking. I was thinking, is GameSpot like the best place to get Pokemon cards on the day that they get released? Probably
Dude,
not.
You called it GameSpot.
GameSpot. Is it? Probably not. The prices are fucking ridiculous.
That's so awesome, dude. Yeah, they are. No.
I would think that simultaneously it would be happening at fucking Walmart and
It might be. There might be a line over there.
they're just GameStop loyal.
Said, I hear jams back there.
It doesn't really pick up.
That's good. But yeah, man, GameStop is definitely dying. Whatever they have in there is not video games anymore. Like it used to be walls of games and like shelves and everything else. Now it's like 2 walls of games for Xbox and PlayStation and 1 wall for Switch, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a strange thing going into that store. It really, a few years ago, it really was dying, and you could feel it when you walked in there. Now, and then the fucking whatever happened, the internet saved it.
All
And
the pump and dump shit. Whenever they got the stock way up,
you know what? GameStop probably should have fucking died then. Physical media, that's the thing. And if they can ride it out,
who they gonna? How they? Yeah, because like if you download everything, eventually, like what are they gonna have to switch to just selling merch?
it's a lot of merch there right now.
That's what. Yeah.
But if they can wait it out, the nostalgia, because they already started selling vintage, retro, which to me, they've always sold used systems, but
Dude,
now
that's
they're
dirty business though.
it is because I don't think of GameStop as like a reputable source to buy.
Well, man,
Retro
think
gear.
about this, okay? Think about this. The businesses like, what's the one in Hagerstown? I forget what it's called.
Cartridges galore.
Yes. Okay. That's gonna be gone then. If they saw a market now, and they're like, oh,
I know, dude,
what
I
if we
know.
can do that? And
Right.
they already have this national recognition and all this stuff. These guys have like 2 stores. You know what I mean?
Cartridges galore. Shout out. That's a
Yeah.
cool ass spot,
Yeah,
dude.
both of them. Maybe they got 3 now, but I've been in 2 of them. Frederick and Hagerstown both. Dude, they have some nice, very nice things in that store.
Yes,
You know,
man.
stuff is expensive, but it's nice. Like if you're looking for something specific and old, you could probably find it there. You know, they
Yeah.
had like, I don't know.
I got a Korg synthesizer for the Nintendo DS, which is really cool. It's just a cartridge that you stick in there, and then it turns your Nintendo DS into a synthesizer.
For your voice.
No, just for like
Oh, making little like
beats.
music and shit.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's cool, man.
Dude, Nintendo's done some wild things.
Nintendo has done some wild things.
They made a printer for the Game Boy. Like it came with a little camera. It was shit. Like the pictures were like, it looks like you, but like kind of doesn't. It's like, because it's black and white. It was all black and white, and like the paper was only so big. You know, like the little printer was on. You know, it was just a little printer. It wasn't like some.
Yeah,
big,
little thermal printer.
Yeah.
GameStop has to adapt to survive, and so it's had to like dip its foot into other shit like Pokemons and collectibles, and now retro gaming. Yeah, they've seen. Yeah,
Well, they did it originally to those stores, like what I was describing before. Like there were video game stores. Do you remember EB Games or
Yeah, dude.
like man, there was like Funko Games or something like that in Frederick. I'm trying to remember.
there was a GameSpot too.
I think so. And I'm like, well, they took them over. Like they took over all those people, just like they're gonna try to do to
There
all
was
these.
a lot, dude. There was quite a few.
Well, because they were owned by like moms and pops, and then eventually they did get bigger. You know what I mean? Like EB Games was a chain, but like Funko Games or whatever wasn't, or GameSpot probably wasn't. You know, there was stores where it was just some nerd dude who loved to play video games, and he, you know what I mean? He was not a corporation.
Yep. Yep. And the corporations come in and swallow up all the competition, and
Mm-hmm. And
it's weird.
They're gonna do it again. Like that's just what their strategy is, right? It's like if it's a snake, it's gonna bite you. You know, like what'd you expect? It was a snake. You know what I mean? Like, what we expect? It's a corporation. Of course, they're gonna go kill the little dudes and the cool stores that we like, and then it'll be right back to this shit.
It's weird. It's always a different employee over there too, and yeah,
Well, how much could you possibly pay somebody to do that job. Like that's why it's a one-man operation basically. Like if it was owned by two guys and they both just worked there, that's the perfect setup, right? Cuz we're paying ourselves. Okay? If you need to do that model with an employee, you got to pay Social Security and they're something what kind of insurance is it? It's like oh man, what do you got to anyways, you got to pay all their stuff and taxes and whatever on them, right? So you got to pay this dude like $12.75 or whatever it is. Be like, just watch the counter. You know, engage the customer. Because as soon as you walk in that joint, how are you today? Like, I'm good, thank you. I mean, I like a greeting, but those people just seem like buy something and get out. Like,
My old
not all of
boss.
them.
I worked in a huge, like warehouse-sized area, just filled with old shit. And whenever, I can't remember. What do you say whenever somebody would come in? But it's not like people were beating down the door.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Hey, welcome to Turtle's Treasures." But on the way, on their way out, he'd be like, "Don't let the door hit you. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you." Fucking drilled into my head, boy. Yeah,
Right.
that's a weird job to do. That type of.
Well, you're clerking basically, but like,
But that was the setup. Two dudes. It was him and me. He only had to pay himself and me, and if he paid me.
if you paid me.
Fucking dick.
The good old days when you could just get away with not paying somebody.
Yeah.
And you'd
fucking
be like,
2011. Yeah, man.
Okay, that was more recent than I was expecting. But still, that's 15 years ago almost now. You believe that?
But you can make a business happen with two dudes. I fucking think about that shit all the time.
You totally can. But you have to work it like all day. Like you just have to live that shit pretty much. You know?
Yep.
Like it would be cool to own a liquor store. That was my thought because, dude, you can run an efficient liquor store with legitimately two people. Like if there's two of you there, even if it gets busy as shit, like one of you's ringing shit up, the other one is bagging shit up, and you move them along. And then as soon as that crowd dies down, you go back in there and you stock up all the bottles on the shelves, and then you come back out and stand by the counter again till it happens again. Okay? I used to work there for a long time, but do you know how much money those motherfuckers make? I mean, it's astronomical. Like, I guess it depends on your location, how nice your store is, you know, because you don't want to be in the ghetto and selling, you know, like,
You don't want to be a liquor store in the ghetto faux show.
yeah, like, because normally there's an abundance more of competition. There's more of those stores in in like an urban area or whatever have you. So like the one up here on the mountain being like one of two, and the very much nicer one, because the other one is Chocolate Park, and I don't shout out to Chocolate Park if anybody's listening. You should definitely check it out. I just know that for years, you know, the things were in disrepair.
Chocolate Park is a misnomer. Like, what do you think of when you think of Chocolate Park? Hershey Park?
Dude, I
Chocolate World? No. Do you think it would be even okay to think that it was like blacks only, like a bar where it was just whites weren't welcome? Nope, it's none of. Bless you. Bless you. It's none of those things.
Yeah, it's none of those things. It's a bar in the middle of
With a
nowhere.
liquor store attached.
Yeah, and the liquor store's dusty. Like I said,
Bro,
shout
that's the
out to
best way to
like-
explain it.
like, shout out to Country Spirits for being clean.
Bro. Like, whenever I think about that place, it's hazy. Hazy. Like, my memory is hazy.
Yeah,
But
dude.
the actual inside of
I
that
know, I'm not
store,
saying
it's
don't go there.
dusty.
By all means, if you want to,
Yeah.
especially
It's
if it's like
convenient.
if it's late at night too. You know, nothing's open, but that's Maryland, isn't it? So you know you can go right over there, or maybe that is PA. By
There's
that.
like 3 places right there where you got other options.
Yeah. So, but it's a nice option if everywhere else is closed.
I've used it.
I've been there before, obviously, only a few times. How would I know that it's dusty?
Look, man, I used to run with some unsavory individuals, and even stayed away from that place. It's weird.
Well, it's because it's in the middle of nowhere. Like,
It feels like a trap.
if you called the cops, how long would it take them to get there from anywhere? Because
Yeah.
there's no Blue Ridge Summit 50. Like, there's no Blue Ridge Summit PD.
Nah, and that's like the extreme southernmost. You're like right there at the line. State police are very far away.
I guess we could call township, right? But like even that,
Frederick County is probably your best chance, even though if you're in Pennsylvania
well,
or
well,
Washington.
Maybe, okay, so if
County.
you call 911, they're gonna pick whoever's closest to you, right? So maybe township could come help you.
It does feel like a trap.
It's definitely like a Porky's type place, I think, like where it's just like out in the middle of nowhere with good old boys in it, and nobody asks no questions. It's I don't know,
Jim always, yeah, there's a vibe there.
like it's a remnant of a time gone by.
Word, dude, exactly.
But it persists. It's still there. Like there's this place called Cactus Flats down in along 15, which I always thought was the greatest name for a bar. Cactus Flats, boy. Like that's like, come on, you're getting hillbilly in there. They throw peanuts on the floor and shit like this. But like that joint held out for a long time. I don't think it's the same as it used to be.
Places
anymore.
hold out. Like, man, they get anchored, right? They get rooted to where they're at and held down. You will always have somebody holding you down if that's what you're selling.
Well, if it's a good joint too, you know what I mean? Like some places didn't make it, obviously, but like, okay, how about the Odd House? Like that place is held out, boy.
People love that shit. People wear their merch.
Yeah, well, 'cause it's it's like a good place. They keep it clean in there. You know what I mean? Like it's old school building. Like the architecture is. I think for all time it
I've
will.
never been there.
Oh yeah, it's a fireman's bar. We'll have to go there sometime.
Is it on the square?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can go drink beers there.
Yeah, man. I would.
Maybe in football season.
Emmitsburg seems like a cool little place.
It is. It's interesting. They got some stuff there, like FEMA's there.
Yeah, that's
The
strange.
National Fire Academy is there.
Well, it's strategically located, also, Emmitsburg.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's why it's like if you look at Odd House Bar, it has all these fireman badges, like all the different like patches. I mean, excuse me, and it's like lacquered over, so it's the whole bar, and their bar is like, man, I want to say it's like 30 stools. I bet you.
Dang.
Because it starts like when you walk in the front door, you take like 3 or 4 big steps, and the bar starts right there, and it runs the entire length of this place, and it's like, I don't know, like if you took an old school like a brownstone type townhouse, and you
Mhm.
just made it go back through there, and you turned like the living room and the stuff like that into dining room area, and then the back has pool tables and like darts and whatever.
Isn't there a fire academy there? Some
Yeah,
type of
yeah, man, National Fire Academy.
the NFA.
Yeah, that's why that place is like visited by many firemen and many college students because of the mount. So like,
Dude, those firefighters must get mad college. It's crazy. Or those college ladies probably get mad firefighter.
yeah, well, you're putting young people together and booze. Okay, they're young, good-looking folks, not like me. Okay,
Man, I feel like that's a freaking.
it's a setup for a scary movie, isn't it?
Or like a reality show. Firefighters, college students.
Yeah, but then we'd have to figure out some way to make sure they do it for for TV. You know what I mean? Like we'd have to produce that shit. Be like, listen,
Yeah.
you're gonna be in there waiting for him at the bar, and then you're gonna walk in like that's what they do. None of that shit's real, right?
Yeah. Well, then maybe the movie, because the National Fire Academy is here. They're the heroes. The college girls are gonna be in distress because they went to Chocolate Park. Oh no.
Dude, if they ended up there from Mount St. Mary's,
They took a wrong turn.
they totally did. They took a wrong turn, boy. Like that is that movie straight up.
Bro, there's all kinds of weird shit, like, I don't know, maybe 50-mile radius. What's that army base in Frederick?
Fort Detrick.
Fort Detrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff around here.
Well, Detrick's crazy by itself, but like there's Fort Detrick, and then there was Fort Ritchie. You know, like you talked about that before, but where they were like training Jewish dudes to go fight Hitler, which is that's pretty badass. But Fort Detrick's crazy because that's where Frank Olson worked at. The guy from he's not the guy from the movie. There's a movie made about him, or a series. It's called Wormwood. I think was on Netflix, and he was the one who's like gonna blow the whistle on them, like spiking people with LSD. Because he was like the head of virology or something. He was working on chemical weapons at Fort Detrick.
Man, all that shit's connected. Then Johns Hopkins is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from there.
Well, what's crazy is they took that dude to Deep Creek Lake, and that's where they dosed him with acid. You know, like there's got to be stuff there too. Like the whole state, like it's bigger than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, Maryland is weird.
Like, well, because it's also there's a little thin line of Maryland where you can drive 20 miles one way and be in Pennsylvania, and the other way and be in like Virginia and then West Virginia, all within like 45 minutes in a circle. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah, when I go to pick up Violet, start in Pennsylvania, go to Maryland, then West Virginia, then West Virginia again.
Yeah, it's weird how it's laid out like that.
It is weird. It's weird when you grow up here.
Think about how many underground places there has to be if they have CyDR up there.
Yeah, man.
You know, like the underground Pentagon is right there. And that sounds weird to even say, but you know that shit is there.
I can see almost. I can see the mountain that it's behind, which is this one right out the window.
Dude, at night, if you look up at that spot where you're looking, you can see lights blinking. Like, that's not cell phone towers.
When you drive down by there on 16, it just feels weird.
Well, if it's like fall time and there's no leaves, you can look up in there. There's like a big ass parking lot, and there's buses that are parked in there. And I'm like, who the fuck rides in those buses? You know, it has to be like important people that they just truck up there and truck back to wherever. Like, think of how many places.
Are they old school buses?
No, they're like those little white
Sprinter vans.
Like the Rabbit
Transit.
Yeah, something like that. Like it's like a little mini bus, kind of like.
And they got Pentagon Police.
Yeah, that's weird too. When you see the Pentagon Police here, you're like, the Pentagon's in Washington D.C. I feel like that's far away from here. What are you doing here? But that's because there's a Pentagon right over there. That's what that lady interviews for, I'm pretty sure. That comes in here.
Ah.
You know, like, 'cause she works the kitchen area, and so, like, you know, it's got to be contracted, I guess, civilian or whatever. But, like, they need to staff it, obviously, and then those people have to get background checks and make sure they can get a top secret clearance, like, get a clearance of some sort.
Dang, that makes sense. She's the operative. That's why she sits in the corner so she can see every.
No, shout out to that lady too. She always hooks a brother up.
That's awesome. That lady has been coming here for since I've been working here.
Yeah, no, she's awesome. Super easy to wait on. Yes, always takes good care of us. It's just crazy that, like, she probably works in a place that we're not even we're not gonna see. Like, we'll never see that place. Us. We can walk by and see the fence and see the big signs that say no photography, stay back. Like, if you come up in here, you know what I mean? Be prepared to be searched.
I'm going to start a side podcast called Here's the Thing. Here's the thing. I know people who have worked there and they won't say shit. Like, what's up with that? I mean, I don't know what it's like to keep a secret like that. I don't know what it's like to know a secret like that and be responsible enough to keep my mouth closed about it forever. I don't know. I grew up in the shadow of that bitch.
What if
And-
they said you were gonna kill you or something? You know, like you could be murdered. you
It
could
must
mur-
be, dude.
Like you could be murdered. Well, okay. I think technically you're just gonna go to jail for the rest of your life. Like I think that's
Treason.
like I think that's what happens. They're like, no, you go to jail forever. Although
Treason.
there was a dude who's in jail right now. He's like 23 right now. I don't know. He was young when he released like a bunch of documents about Ukraine war. Now he's in jail. But I
Dang.
mean, I don't know how long. I think he got like 28 years.
Well, maybe when you go into Site R, you're just so fucking. Your mind is blown. I mean, I believe that my mind would be blown if I saw that.
An underground city with 3-story
It just looks
buildings.
like a mountain. A mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It just looked like a mountain. Then all of a sudden, they fucking open those big ass doors, and you go in, and there's like people water skiing on an underground lake. Upside down skyscrapers. What that is. I remember my dad telling me that there was an underground lake inside our that's big enough to water ski on.
I believe it.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's a reservoir. Like that'd be like that's enough water for how many ever thousand people they need for a long time.
Raven Rock is what it's called. But did they name it that after the Ravens? Or is the Ravens... No, that's named after Edgar Allan Poe, right?
I guess, but like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe because the Ravens got something to do with Baltimore. You know, I guess it. You know, maybe it is the Edgar Allan Poe thing though, because like that's old enough because they didn't build the place till like the 40s, right? So I mean,
Site
Poe would have been
R.
dead, long dead by then.
Yeah, interesting shit.
Yeah, one of my ex-girlfriends, her dad was like, I found a thick cable running out through there when I was digging him. Like they built their house like, I don't know.
Thick cable.
Yeah, he said he's found a giant cable. I don't know if I believe him or not. You know what I mean? Because he be talking shit sometimes. But like, I mean, I don't know. The dude was, seemed pretty stand up. I don't know. So,
Did you ever hear about dinosaur bones found in Thermont?
no, for sure not.
I did.
Somebody found dinosaur bones there.
I heard this girl I used to work with told me they found dinosaur bones on their property and somewhere out there.
I mean, they could be anywhere theoretically. I mean, if we dug deep enough here, maybe, or if you go down to like the eastern shore. I think because like every year some of that coastline erodes, so then you can just see all the way to different layers of dirt till you get to where there might be some, you know what I mean, and then just dig it out and you'll find some little fossils.
That's cool.
I don't know about dinosaur bones.
Fossils are cool.
I mean, technically, the dinosaur bones would be fossils too, right?
Mm-hmm. Fossilized. Because they're so fucking old.
Well, imagine being the dude that found the first T-Rex bones, man. Those things are, I mean, they're bigger than we are, right? Like the leg bone, stuff like that. Finding giant animals, period.
Yeah, when I lived out west, it's really... I don't know. I thought about it more. Because you're kind of you're just surrounded by geology all the time. And if you're curious about that kind of shit, then I don't know. I went and looked at rocks.
A lot of rocks. My dad would like to go on that trip.
I saw prehistoric plant fossils at a golf course. A triceratops exposed fossil. Cool shit, dude.
Triceratops is pretty sick.
Baby stego tracks.
That's weird too. Like baby fossils. You know? Because then you wouldn't know until you found the bigger one. Right? Or would you know? You'd be like, this one has to be a baby. But how the hell would you know? You never saw anything like that before.
No, dude. Imagine just. Yeah. Science is cool.
It's all crazy shit, man. Because, like, no one really knows either. Like, they're all just guessing, kind of. You know, I mean, there's some stuff that we know as fact. But, like, we can't say how old the pyramids actually are. We don't know. You know, or, like, civilizations from South America. You don't know how old they are. They didn't write anything down.
That bums me out. Right. What the fuck, bro?
Like, they had no writing, so how the hell would you know how old that stone statue is? You don't fucking know. You can guess. You could say, I think it's between this time and this time or whatever, but, like, you would have no idea. That could have been there for many thousands more years than you thought, or way less. Like, some dude could have carved that in his garage and put it out there, and it looks similar to what was out there already. You know, you don't know. You can't date stone, can you?
No, I don't know. But I don't understand why the build, or is it just that old? I guess it's just that old that they didn't even
Well-
think about thinking. They couldn't even think about that far into the future to like let somebody know why and how.
Maybe they didn't have a way. Like, you know what I mean?
But that's crazy though, right? They had a way to build the
Okay,
pyramids,
yeah,
but
you're
they
right.
didn't have. Which
yeah,
is
you're right. You're absolutely right. If they could build something that awesome, you would think they'd be able to write it down and tell us how it was done and for what.
we want to fucking punch an Egyptian, bro.
Well, maybe they did write it down, though, and shit got ruined. You know, did you ever think of that?
Right.
Because, like,
They did have that big old library. The
yeah, well, they
Library of
got.
Alexandria.
Saw yesterday some dudes, forget, I don't know what their names are, but there's some smart young kids, and they figured out how to unroll a scroll that's been burned up. Like the Herculaneum scrolls, there's thousands of them, but they're all
Yeah,
ash. They like turn instantly to charcoal.
In Pompeii, it's from Pompeii.
Well, Pompeii's the other city. There was two of them.
Vesuvius.
Vesuvius hit Pompeii and Herculaneum.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so Herculaneum, the shit was so hot it just turned everything to charcoal. So like if you try to open the scrolls, you're done for. They'll just crackle all the shit. But they figured out some way to shoot radars and MRIs and stuff into there where they can get each layer of what was there and the markings and all this. So like it's almost like virtually unrolling this thing in pieces. And then they got to piece it back together. But if you're doing that, couldn't you put it back together wrong? And then you're decoding some shit, and you're like, whoa, what? You know, what is this?
And I think though they're like mostly religious shit.
You think so? Like, don't you think there's probably just some stories on there?
I don't think they were writing about that shit, man.
Okay. No nonfictions aside from like religious nonfictions
Man,
or,
non-fictions
or
weren't
religious
really.
religious fictions. I mean, no fictions. I said nonfiction, so it's all nonfictions to be clear. Back then, right?
Well, like I can't remember when Beowulf was.
That's not as old as that, right? Beowulf has to be maybe like 2,000 years old, or no, they're Vikings, right? Like it's a Viking, so he's like 1100s.
And what's the other one? The Odyssey,
Okay, that's like BC times. then.
Greek.
Yeah, I think that's like 500 BC's, 1000 BC.
Dang, imagine writing a story. How did that what did they write that shit on? Stone?
Scrolls maybe.
Scrolls,
Like it
yeah.
had to be scrolls, I guess. Like what?
I like that back in the day, scrolling meant something totally different than it does today.
Scrolling back here. Thank you. It's like the Elder Scrolls. You're playing Oblivion. When you get to a certain part, you got to go get. Or wait, maybe it's in Skyrim. One of the two games, you have to go get one of the Elder Scrolls. It is Skyrim, but it takes you back to the era of Oblivion. Okay, like you go back in time, you got to steal this Elder Scroll. Inside the place where they keep it, it's guarded by blind monks. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you can't look at the scroll or it'll blind you or something, like make you go crazy. But yeah, that's cool. Anyway, scrolls. Scrolls are awesome. I would like all my stuff on scrolls from now from now on, please.
Scrolls only.
Like all my mail needs to come on scrolls.
I only want. Oh, you can only text me via scroll.
You know how badass that would be? Like back in the day, if some dude on a horse showed up at your house and he has this scroll with like a big seal on it, you know, and you'd have to break the seal
Cracked it open.
and then fan out your scroll. And then you'd have somebody else come read it to you. You're like, reader.
Behold.
But all people had jobs back then. Not everybody could read, so you needed a reader. Okay, and some people were too rich to read, and they just wanted a reader.
Weird.
But yeah, man, that would be cool. Like, yeah, there was more jobs for everybody back then. You know, there was or maybe not a job, more as like a position. You know what I mean? Like everybody had their place. You know, but now there's too many people, and there's not enough places.
Too many people learn to read.
Think that's what it is? They're all pissed off now. They're like, well, listen.
There used to be this huge divide, dude, for probably a long, long time.
All there still is. It's just not as visible today. You know what I mean? Like, we live better than any peasants have ever lived. And I'm a peasant, okay? I work the man's field or whatever it is, whatever he wants me to do here, you know, for
Every time
money.
you say that, it fucks with my head.
Yeah, well, because, like, that's, like, think about the bigger, like, the macro of it, okay? Like, take yourself out of yourself and don't think of this as normal. Think of this as capitalism in middle to late stage, right? Where, like, you're not a slave, okay? Clearly not. That's illegal. But the amount of money that you're getting paid is so minimal now because there's so many people here that will literally work for $2 if there was no minimum wage, right? Like somebody would do it, right? Like somebody's crazy. You know, so there's too much competition or what have you. But we're still peasantry, basically. Like we have to kick up money to the upper class or whatever through the purchase of goods that are increasingly more, self-destructible, like things you got to throw away. Planned obsolescence.
And everything's taxed and
Yeah, coming and going too. Like not just one time. You got to pay when you get the money. You got to pay when you use the money. You know what I mean? So, so we are peasants. Those are fun tickets, or whatever you want to call it, food tokens. You know, however you want to spend your money, it's yours. You're free to do whatever you like. But are you really free to do whatever you like if you only have 75 cents?
and ads blasting in your face constantly, telling you what to spend your 75 cents on.
Yes. Yes. Things that tell you how to think and feel and what you should do with your money.
But so that makes me think that, like, being a peasant back in the day, it probably wasn't that bad.
I mean, it probably wasn't terrible, but, like, people were probably smaller, you know? Like, if you look at old castles, those people are already, like, 5.5 feet tall, and that's a tall guy, you know? Like, they're mostly, like, 5'3", you know? The ladies are smaller. Think about your peasants who don't got a lot of food, you know what I mean? Your house is going to be tiny. Like, they're probably 5 feet tall because they're, you know, I'm not saying completely nutrient deficient or what have you, but, like, think about the diet of the average peasant. It was probably like bread, fish, some milk if you got a cow, you know, shit like that, which ain't bad for you, but, like, how much are you getting, you know, at the same time? Because, like, those people had to give certain amounts of that to the landlord, or whoever runs their area, basically.
Yeah, it's the same. It's almost exactly the same as it's always been. It's just cloaked in a different fucking.
Well, dude, we have such nicer places now. Like in the old days, people like that lived in a shithole with rats and a thatched roof and stuff that leaked. And
That's why we have. Yeah, that's why we got rid of log cabins, because it reminded us of the old days and how dusty shit was and dirty.
But-
And the brick too, man. That's why they covered up all the fucking brick with siding,
mm-hmm.
because they didn't want to be reminded. Plus, brick is fucking dirty.
I mean, it's nice though.
It
I
looks.
think it looks nice.
Mhm.
I don't know, but you're right. I mean, I guess if you don't, especially if you're like brick on, like if there's brick on both sides of the wall,
Brick on both sides.
Yep. But yeah, people lived like shit, compared to right now, because we got running water. I don't have to go out to a well and get a bucket of some stuff that's been down in there for, we're not sure. Okay, you boil it. Like, that's why people drank beer a whole bunch back in the day, because the water was shit.
Modern medicine, we have it. It's easy to complain about shit, but man, yeah, we got it pretty good for peasants.
Yeah, well, it's just a mind fuck, because there's so much more money out there, but it has more to do with wealth and power than it does the actual number of the dollars that these people have. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a whole bunch of money, you're going to have more influence and power. And if you have influence and power, you're going to end up with much more money. So, like, it has to do with who you know and how you came across this money, Like, it's weird. Like, Elon Musk, he's got to be an outsider to those people. There's people who've had money for a long, Rockefellers and shit like this.
Old money.
Yeah, well, those people still have that money.
Yeah,
Like
man.
Johnson and Johnson, like Mr. Johnson still exists. It's like Johnson the Fourth or whatever it is, and they just keep passing it down. Yeah, and they keep growing it. Like, look at Walmart, dude. They're in the second generation. There's a third generation coming up. What are they gonna do? You think they're gonna go be plumbers? No, they're gonna fucking inherit Walmart.
Yeah, man. Some money feels like it'll last forever.
And, like, should we be pissed about that? Because they've ingrained me to be like, nah, it's fine. These people worked for that. And blah, blah, blah. But, like, man, I don't know. It seems absorbent sometimes when you think about the way that money gets, like people who just inherited it. Like heiresses and stuff like that. You got to think of those people as a different species, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Because we are not the same in even the smallest amount.
No, and I don't even think I've ever met one.
No, we probably won't. We don't know rich people. I don't know rich people.
I don't know rich people either.
I mean, I did work for Fergie and Thermont. Shout out to him. But he owned the bowling alley, and I mean, I think he maybe had $1 million. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like he was like Hugh Hefner or something. He didn't have an empire. He wasn't like, But he always reminded me of Hefner a little bit. Not gonna lie.
I guess I've known some rich people.
I mean, Jim from the bar, right? Shout out to him too.
Yeah, there's a couple people who sit at my bar who are pretty well off.
Yeah, but well off and move money markets money is not the same, right? Like, those dudes are retired. They can live in comfort and give their kids good stuff and, have a nice life. But they're not, like, buying companies.
No, they're still
And
working.
You know what I mean? It's not the same. Like, they're more cut from us. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
it's not,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? Like, that's what can happen if you do work. Like, if you commit yourself to something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of shit. That's what success it should be. You know what I mean? But for some people to be rich, a lot of people got to be poor, unfortunately. So if that's the case, there's a big range, and people, I'm telling you, they forget about the poor people, man. Like, people just do not want to see that shit. Like, nobody wants to see poor people. That's why there's no sitcoms about poor people. We've talked about that. I mean, there's a few, but even that's like making fun of certain. I mean, I don't know. Roseanne's like the closest thing I've ever seen to like a normal, everyday couple with kids. That's the closest one. Like, everything else is either really making fun of it hardcore, like they're super white trashy, like fucking Al Bundy. You know what I mean? Like, that's an exaggeration of shit.
It's weird. Why can't you make a show that, like, think about the closest sitcom that would represent true real life and the closest reality show that would represent real life. It's a fucking far gap. It's hard to yeah, it's hard to make that shit. Why?
Yeah.
Because the nuances of life are just fucking.
There's too sporadic, man. Like, there's so many days that go by where nothing happens. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of days that go by where nothing happens. You went to work, you came home, you ate some ice cream, took a shit like that. You got a shower and you did it again. You know, but then there's those days where you're like, man, holy shit, I saw some crazy stuff today, you know. But that's few and far between. So, like, if you have to do that, imagine if you had to make that show 5 nights a week. You know, you get bored eventually.
Dang.
Like, I don't know. And I mean, yeah, the sitcom doesn't work for that. I don't think. Like, and reality shows don't work for it either because there's no substitute for actual reality. And if you were taping people actually doing this stuff, you should feel like a scumbag.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
what if you were taping yourself?
Taping yourself's totally different, I think. You know what I mean? Because, like, a reality show, maybe that's the thing. Like, they'd have to have people taping themselves, but then you'd have goofballs who wouldn't be genuine. They'd be acting like assholes.
Right. Knowing that the camera is there. Right. But what if you just put a camera in your car, one camera at work, and then one in your house,
I mean,
and then you just edited it together every week?
I guess that would work if you were committed to doing it without, like, because, like you said, you'd know that you would know that you were being watched, so you wouldn't actually do.
Sucks. I know.
You wouldn't actually do everything that you would. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be there late at night pulling out your phone. You know, hello. You know, shit like this happening. You know, you'd know that you're being watched, so you'd be on like your P's and Q's. That's why civilization is the way it is anymore, because we all think we're being watched. If nobody thought they were being watched, they'd be chucking containers out the window, littering all over the place. You know, and I'm not saying there isn't good people out there. I'm just saying that, like, human beings are straight animals, and, like, if no one's watching, they do animalistic things.
Dang right, man.
You know.
Like, you see a whole bag of trash is thrown on the side of the road. What the fuck?
That's what I mean. But nowadays, people think that or maybe it's been like ingrained in us to think that we're like the star of our own movie, and people really are watching and give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, people, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're always thinking consciously about what you're doing, or at least I hope the fuck you are. You know what I mean? Like, be intentional in life, shit like that. But
It's a weird thing.
like, you have to, like, you're making your own story kind of deal. So, like, you know, maybe as a young person, we went and got wasted a whole bunch. And that was a bad idea. You know, we waste a lot of time. Maybe. I feel like I did. It was like, yeah, I'll just work it all week and then drink the weekend. Go, baby. But, like, that is stupid. That's the bar's target market, though. And they need people like that to stay in business. Like, let's go to the bar. You, like, pay 3 times as much for beer and shitty food that's in here.
Never understood that.
Well, it's about being around people, I think, mostly. You know, socializing, like hanging out.
Yeah, which that